Peace. Welcome, welcome. All right. So today, the reason I am on is because I am inspired to talk. And I want to talk about something that we all have and we all experience, which is feelings. The thing about feelings is, the reason I want to talk about feelings because, I don't know, if you've spoken to me recently, I've got a lot to say about feelings. And one of the things I've been saying recently is, kind of feelings don't matter that much. I know. You don't hear that a lot. You don't hear people say, you hear a lot of people say, oh, you got to respect your feelings. You need to follow your feelings. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of times your so-called feelings are lying to you. That your feelings could potentially not be what you think they are. So your interpretation of your feelings could be incorrect. And that oftentimes by getting so immersed in our feelings, and I'm not even talking about the feeling of the feelings, I'm talking about the thinking about feelings. Immersing yourself in thinking about how you feel. Oh, I feel this and I feel that. You're going to put a name on it. And the next thing you know, whatever this uncomfortable situation is inside your feelings, you've given it a name, you've conveniently blamed it on someone else or some particular circumstance. And I'm just here to tell you, most of us are relatively ignorant about our own feelings. So first of all, I want to talk about the difference, like why I say fuck your feelings, or why I don't really, when someone's like, well, I feel this or I feel that, like your feelings are kind of the intersection between your inner mood and what you think, right? So what could be the problem here? Well, your inner mood is built actually by a couple of components, right? It's literally just all the stuff that's happening in your body, right? Your heart beating, your blood pressure, all of the stuff that's outside of your control. That's one thing. And then the other part is, your overall mood. So you might have been experiencing certain things. So now you've got some feelings happening. Then you add on top of that what you think about what you're feeling in your body. And honestly, it can be pretty much a disaster for some people, because I've heard people talk about feeling one way or another, and then come to find out something else was going on. So I'll tell you a quick story about that. So for me, last week, I started having some breathing issues because just in the last year or so, I've been diagnosed with asthma, and I wasn't feeling well. And I kind of thought it was all kinds of things. I even ended up had an appointment with my doctor. Everything looks pretty good. But what was happening was I was actually coming up towards a health crisis, which didn't happen until after my doctor's visit, which was crazy. 2 or 3 days after my doctor's visit, I wake up and I can't breathe. So I have to go to urgent care and I have to get cared for. So I have to get some medication. And so during that period of time, while I'm not feeling well, I was also not feeling like myself. What does that mean, right? So I'm typically a happy person. I have a good mood, good appetite. Like all of these things that were normal for me were not there. So when we talk about like, oh, my feelings, the feelings, whatever feelings you're having, one, are transient, and two, could be caused by something outside of what you think it is, right? So, one of the examples is when you're hungry, we have people who we know who get hangry. And hangriness is like the perfect example of a feeling that we could easily begin to blame, a person that's around us for, right? When the reality is we haven't fed our bodies. We haven't met a need in the body. And this is part of the reason why I want to talk about feelings versus needs. Because feelings imply or let you know that there is a need that's not being met. It doesn't always tell you for sure which need is not being met. And it doesn't necessarily tell you what direction to look. And what I fear with the way people talk about feelings is it's like the go-to thing when we talk about feelings is to find a person in our environment to blame for the way we feel. or to find some circumstance in the environment to blame on how we feel. When the reality is feelings are almost always pointing to unmet needs, right? So in the case of being hangry, your unmet need is you need some food. Sometimes people get cranky when they're sleepy, right? So if you would ask that person how they feel, they'd say, I feel irritated. Well, irritated, like, okay, what's irritating you? Well, really, what might be irritating them is that they need to take a damn nap. Take your ass to sleep. Like, go to sleep. So what I'm really trying to get down to is that the feelings aren't the truth. The feelings sometimes are pointing you towards a truth. And depending on how aware you are, how body aware, how aware of your own psychology, and really how willing you are to not instantly look around your environment for a person to blame, then you might be able to follow a feeling back to an unmet need, you know? And so what about, happiness? These happy feelings, it's the same thing. Happy feelings are all about needs that are being met and fulfilled. So, but the trick is, though, you could be with somebody and be really super happy, and if you are not so careful, you'll end up assigning your happiness to that person. So they make you happy. That's a really dangerous place to be. So for me personally, I don't use my feelings to actually determine a truth for me. You can't actually use your feelings to determine your own life truth. You can't use your feelings to define yourself. And you can't use your feelings to blame the people around you or the circumstances around you. You can most likely use your feelings to follow yourself to some unmet needs. Now, excuse me, I didn't want to make this too long, but recently I did a short workshop in my group ManiSisters. I think I shared this. I hope I shared this video there. But we were talking about the moon placement. So this is where we kind of flip from talking about more like psychology to going into human design and astrology. So one of the ways for you to care for yourself, because I'm so into self-care, you can really perform exquisite self-care if you can get really familiar with your moon. Because your moon, you'll hear in astrology that it's what drives you, and in human design, I call it the push and the pull, because there's two moon placements, because there's, it's a complex system. Anyway, there's two moons. But the reality is, if you get your moon taken care of, so your moon represents what you need to create the best emotional environment inside of you. Meaning that if you're taking care of these needs and kind of the basic needs of being a human, then your genius can be unleashed, because you don't have this internal resistance with these, these feelings that are sending you complex messages, and you, of course, not necessarily knowing where to place them, are placing blame on people and things around you instead of focusing on, satisfying your needs. So real quick before I talk more about, about that moon placement, there's some basic needs that every person has. And I really want you to understand it's a form of self-care to give yourself these basic needs. And to engage in them, right? So I'm not really sure if you're like, oh, hey, Ebony. I don't know if you're really familiar with Tony Robbins. Like, he defines 6 needs, and I love those 6 needs. Honestly, you just need to start to understand you have them. You're human, you have them. We all need a sense of autonomy. We need to have physical nurturing. That means rest. I mean, touch, shelter, water, clothing. We need to have forms of celebration. So reasons to be happy. We need play and fun, because honestly, play and fun are related to the physical nurturing. I don't know, playful animals have sexy good times, y'all. So play is necessary. You need to be able to have interdependence. Now, there's a lot of people like, I don't need anyone else. I'm not a tribal person. Yeah, I get that. But honestly, we live in an interdependent world. Every interconnected system makes sure that every person that I know is getting the resources they need. Like, I'm not growing all my food. Someone out there is. So even with that, I am in an interdependent system. But community and family is important, even if it's not your blood relatives, if it's not your DNA tribe. You have a tribe, you have a people who you can connect with. So we require this connection. And then we need this kind of spiritual communion, beauty, inspiration, harmony, just something that is about something greater than ourselves, right? We all, to some degree, have all of those needs. Those needs have to be met in some way. You want a moody human that doesn't feel great is not going to have something on that list that I just read. So like autonomy, physical nurturance, celebration, play, interdependence, community and spirituality. If you don't have one of those, you're going to have an unhappy human. You're going to give that human emotional problems because they're going to like, oh, my feelings. Yeah, your feelings. So the thing about it is chasing down the feelings and trying to fix the feelings doesn't fix anything, right? How do you fix sad? With antidepressants. So then now you haven't even considered that perhaps there's a need that's not being met. Can we look at that first? What if there's a need that's being met? And the need could be unexpected, right? It could be that you need different food, right? We're looking at the physical nurturance. You thought I would say with depression, look around at these assholes you're surrounded by. That could be true too. But literally it could be the food you're eating, So I say feelings are the way that we begin to be curious about the needs that we have and how those needs are being met. Now, one of the ways that I track down needs is like, again, I study human design and I use the moon placements in human design, particularly on the conscious side, because those are the feelings that we know we're feeling. And that's why I focus on that one. The other one is a little bit nebulous and a little bit deeper down. But that conscious moon, you focus on that conscious moon, you get that gate theme, and you can begin to work on this basic need that's beyond the basic needs of most humans, of all humans, right? We all need shelter and clothing and food, and we need connection and all of these things, and autonomy and being able to choose our own direction. We need those things. All the humans do in their own way. But what if I told you that there was a special need that you have, that when you can get that need, that your genius comes out, that you can then be your fully realized and fully developed self, and that your emotional state on the inside, on top of the basics, you add this, and it's like putting a key in a lock, and you open yourself up. And you open yourself up to being more curious about your feelings and actually prioritizing, you're prioritizing what you need up high because it's important. So anyway, so I'm really excited because like I said, we recently did that moon class and it really unlocked a bunch of things for me. It unlocked some information for me and for the people around me so that I can actually start to interact, with the people in my environment based on what they need, right? Based on what they need. And then I can ask for what I need with clarity. And if you're interested in knowing, my moon is in Gemini. So that would be the astrological way of looking at it. Fortunately, I know about my astrological need, right? So in astrology, they say, oh, Gemini needs, lots of books and reading and studying and, teaching. And this is what I need. Sure. That actually is a part of it. But then by using human design, and I narrow down to this specific gate, it's gate 45. And gate 45, even though it is you know, it has a few themes. One of the themes is the gate of the gatherer. I need to gather people. The other part of that theme is the gate of the queen. So it is definitely a piece of rulership. And the other part of it is a part of a teaching energy. I do like to teach. But when you narrow down even further and drill down, the voice of that gate is I have. So not only do I have support, but I have something to share. And I have something that's important to share. And that's why I'm here talking to y'all today about these feelings and needs, because I'm going to tell you, feelings, chasing down the feelings and trying to fix your feelings or address the feelings, you got to feel the feelings, because the feelings will lead you towards what you need, as long as you're open-minded and not so easy to look around to blame. There is no blame. It's really about becoming satisfied, right? Satisfying a need, making sure your needs are satisfied. So for me, and I told you, like, you know, narrowing mine down to not just Gemini, which needs, you know, these certain things, but getting down to that specific gate. What that really allowed me to do was to tailor, you know, what I'm doing in my everyday life so that I'm making sure I get my needs met on top of all the basic stuff. The thing about it is, I'm gonna tell you something, that moon will be in complete chaos if you don't have your basic needs met. That's another big thing. Like, the basics are super important. So then, oh my gosh, well, how can I get the basics if I'm having my moon in chaos? Well, you know, there are some ways that you can, you know, use what you can know about your moon and these needs that you have from there, and actually start to bring some other things into order. So anyway, I only wanted to keep you guys on here for a little while. Also, just to let you know, I had been out of doing one-on-one sessions for a while, but I'm back. And for just the next few days, I think probably until Wednesday, I'm going to offer a super steep discount. And I normally don't do this. Like, this discount it's a secret discount. No one gets it anymore. Yeah, I'm really excited about it because I want to talk to people. I'm, you know, definitely back in the game. And if you want to know more about your deeper needs, and if you want to know more about your own human design, hey, Tonya, if you want to know more about what's driving you, if you're feeling stuck, if you have a lack of clarity, it's time for us to go ahead and get together and talk, because I definitely am here to help, and I have the resources to help you. So again, the link will be up in the description of this video. And, you know, if you have any other questions or some comments, definitely take a look down below. And I don't know, love you guys. And Tish, if you want to book for you and someone else, yes, the link is up there. And that link, that's my super discount link, y'all. That's the friends and family discount. I don't really give that to other people. For a while, let's just say that's the friends and family discount. I love y'all so much, and I look forward to your booking. And you need to book probably by Wednesday, because one, there's a limited number of slots, and two, I'm gonna be doing a conference in a couple weeks, so I won't have any booking space then. So go ahead and get booked. Love y'all. Peace.